Hey everyone, hi. Thank you so much for being here. It's a post-lunch session. So earlier we thought we'll have some deck, but then we realized that it'll post-lunch, so it is better to make it interactive and also hear your stories more, right? Than understand your plans, how you're using technology, and basically make it very interactive and learn from each other. We thought we'll probably change the format of the game. So, hi everyone, I'm Prashant. I'm part of AWS. I've been with AWS for almost 6+ years now, and I work with a lot of retail customers. Have been working with a lot of quick commerce customers of late, like Swiggy, Zomato, and all. So, have been learning from them again their challenges, how they're using technology and all. So, probably we'll share few of our learnings of working with them. But more importantly, we'll like to probably understand from each one of you of how you're using technology, especially GenAI, and how the future looks like for all of you and all. Right. So that's the long and short of it. I'll request you if maybe we can. I know we had informal conversation introductions, but maybe we can start with each other and probably starting with you and just talk about what you do and in the organization and what are you looking for in this session.
Hello everyone, I am Jeevan from Kuberansilks. My work at Kuberansilks is usually towards sales and mainly towards the back end. I take care of accounts, I take care of social media, I take care of the website. Those are the key areas I work with. Technology, and we have developed our own software for our own utilization because we actually started our software around the 2006-2007. Started with the POS software, and over time we actually customized our own software to be able to suit our needs or the market needs which we needed. There are a lot more changes in the last few years which will have to be taken into account, and it is necessary for a business to grow in technology, as without it that is just another pillar with a lot of support which we need to depend upon. We currently use Gen AI for most of the basic tasks like generating emails or corrections or checking on messages, creating new kinds of JDs or anything we can work with in a simple set of tasks. There's more opportunities available which we would like to start utilizing. So, yeah.
Thanks for that. Hi, everybody. I'm Samit Shah. I'm partner at my organization, Adonis Group. So I take care of the e-commerce vertical in the organization, and I've partnered with several brands. Currently, I would be largely associated with Fossil Group, and we take care of the entire marketplace operations. So my expertise is currently with marketplace seller operations end to end. So from onboarding to the complete account reconciliation part, and major focus on the order management part of it. So that's my expertise and that's me. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Harpreet. I'm from Radiowalla. Radiowalla is in the space of providing audio content solutions as well as digital signage solutions, primarily to the retail industry. Currently, we're using AI for some of our tasks, which is playlist curation and some of the other tasks associated with our workflows. What we're trying to do now going forward is to use AI in more efficient ways to automate some of our workflows and also to do a lot of tasks which are currently done manually. For example, as we were just talking, using AI to kind of create scripts and automated voiceovers for some of our clients, which makes it possible for instantly communicating any customer offer in their stores, or automating content flows to the screens, which again make it easier to manage or change creatives on the screens on a real-time basis. That's what we're looking forward to or working towards.
Hello. Hi everyone, I'm Nakshatra. I'm from Cocoblu. Cocoblu is one of the largest sellers on Amazon India. We have a selection of almost 50 million SKUs, 2000 plus brands that we partner with. We are largely into apparel, shoes, books, and then a lot of stationery as well. So long tail categories. And what I'm really looking forward to is what kind of use cases are currently being solved. While we have a lot of use cases of our own, that we are working towards using GenAI. But I'm also curious about what's happening and looking forward to that.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Narayanan and I come from Ample Technologies. I manage technology there. So currently we use AI for just the standard tasks in finance, HR. Within technology we use some AI. I've come here to understand where it is moving and therefore what are the kinds of use cases that people are coming up with, or how are we solving real world problems. We have about 100 odd physical stores in the country. We are expanding. One of the challenges that we have is how many people will walk into our stores. Is it possible to estimate? Is it possible to say how many will be repeat customers? And these are the kinds of problems which the business is asking to see whether it can be solved via AI. But if there are other use cases, yes, and then we'll move forward from there.
Hi, I am Anirban Chakraborti. I am from Sangeetha Mobiles. I take care of the technology as well as the e-commerce division. We have around 800 plus stores in the country, mainly in the southern region. And we have been AWS partners for a very, very long time. And we are working with AWS actually for a couple of AI cases, including search and inventory optimization. So yeah, this would be a good forum to know what people have done or where we can do things. But Gen AI and AI might be two very different things. And so we are using both ML cases as well as Gen AI cases, especially for search, where we are finding it very effective, more than even cataloging.
Okay. You could be around in the room? Yeah, absolutely. But you can just state your name and all that.
Yeah. Hi all. I'm Fazil. I representing Royal Oak Furniture. I head operations and sales in Royal Oak Furniture. Yep.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, I'm Shyam Sundar. I'm the founder and principal architect at 4 Dimensions Retail Design. We are a experiential retail design company where we cater our design services for about 200 plus brands, not only in India, but 7 other countries as well. So basically our stint with technology started deep. I mean, I'm talking about using technology in a bigger way. Started, I think, about a year or a year and a half back, where we handle, currently we work with about 47 brands and deliver about 600 plus stores every year. So project handling, updates and management was a key challenge what we used to face when you're handling that kind of volume. So we started our own app, and we use our app for all the project updates, where the client also can log in at any point of time and check what is happening in the project. If there is a delay or whatever is the update, he will come to know. So that's a real time, almost you can say a daily update, what is generally done in that. That is one part. And with respect to AI, we've just started about 6 months back training program for our key designers within the team on using AI to make their design much more purposeful and also faster. So how you use the right prompts and right feed to ensure that the quality of your design and also something slightly out of the box design can be achieved. So that training program is right now underway. We've just completed about 4 sessions in the last 6 months. And now, I mean, this is a 1-year course, what we are doing for our team. So it'll take some more time to finish. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm Ashok from Prakash Retail Udupi. We are consumer durable retailers under the brand name Harsha. We got 20 stores spread across 14 cities, and we are basically from Udupi, started in the year 1987. We are the early computerized retailers of our country in durable. 87 we started our activity, and 89 itself we are computerized. And till now we are having our own ERP running in the organization, and this year we are moving to SAP B1 at backend and vendor software at the post level. Otherwise, till now we are using our own. And as all the directors are involved in the operation, every activity we have computerized since beginning. All the transactions or activities are available in the computer. We are a data-driven organization. And on the AI side, 2 years back, we have implemented Delium, one of the software product from Chennai, with AI-enabled inventory optimization tool actually. Before that, we were using our own tool where it was a simple algorithm, 90 days sale, 30 days sale and present stock, plus how many days stock you want, that type of thing. Now, this uses AI and gives the accuracy level is around plus or minus 10%. Previously, it was plus or minus 20%. So, on inventory optimization. And one tool from Delhi, we are using Zeno for CRM. Once again, this is also AI-enabled CRM tool. Previously used, we got an event called Harshosava, our anniversary sale. We got a customer mobile database of 15 lakh customers with us. So we used to send for that 7 days event 3 to 4 messages, around 60 lakh messages in that for. Now, since 2 years, what we have done is we see their last 7 to 10 years of transaction, and we find out who would be the customer for television, who will be a customer for AC, or based on his buying pattern. Now, for each segment of the customers, a separate communication is being sent through that. That is really helping us well. The cost has come down and effective reaching is happening. And last month this month we are signed with the Credo for our training people. That also AI enabled training, content development and training tool. We are using this. Idea of attending this program, I am part of RAI since beginning. I attend all their programs and a lot of learning happens with that. So here also same thing. I am coming here to learn something new from you all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Umar Akhtar and I'm the co-founder and CEO at Koski. हम लोग घाघरा बेचते हैं, so that's our business. It's a brand by name Koski. Some of you would have heard of it. In terms of technology, I think we've built quite a few systems internally to manage our business. I would say, while on the outside you look at us as a Ghagra selling company, actually we are a tech company because we drive a lot of things internally via tech. From a AI perspective, I've been in tech about 27 years now. And if I look at tech with AI in the last 6 months, I haven't seen that much development in the last 26 years. So I think we'll have to rethink about how everything will work. Right from how we design a new Ghagra, to how we interact with the customer, to how we optimize inventory. Everything has a huge potential what we can do with AI. And combination of multiple pieces of tech that will come together. We use AI in different places. It's all early stages. A lot of people go gung-ho about AI, AIO. I think getting it to a solid business use case that is actually driving ROI is the key. And you get sold a lot of things that do very cool things that excite you, but then in the end, it doesn't give you the ROI that you need. So we have managed to do a few things in that space that is giving us some ROI, but I'm here to learn more about what other people are doing and how we can build things that will define the future. For me, the holy grail is you have a whole bunch of suppliers that you connect. You have a whole bunch of sales points that you create and you connect the two. And then you go to some island somewhere under the coconut tree and you're sipping coconut water and everything is working fine. And that's, I believe that is possible.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shrikant. I represent the Royal Oak Furnitures. It's good to have multi industries within retail who are part of this presentation. And the exchange of ideas and thoughts is definitely going to help each other. I'm sure with this conversation it is going to happen. I come from a overall retail experience of about 25 years, starting from 2001, I would say, and been part of every facet or a perspective of how a customer would look at retail. And in that sense, today I head the e-commerce vertical for India and Middle East for Royal Oak Furnitures, as well as all the new digital initiatives. Royal Oak as a brand has been a traditional organization who has not been strong enough when it comes to tech adoption. There is one is a change management and there is one is a cultural adoption also. And this was not easy for me as such. In the last 2 years, I've actually struggled, I would say, but I also enjoyed. It's a pain with pleasure. And coming to the aspects of AI today, what I am doing is one, we have definitely most retailers would have already started this. We adopted the GenAI based footfall analysis tool, which gives me not just the count of the people coming in. I can see the gender of the people, the age group of the people, and what kind of their attire and what kind of the necessities could be possibly derived from the footfalls that are coming in. And all my 200 stores today in the country are having this. The second one which I'm building is on an omni-channel experience. We talk so much about omni, but selling a furniture is typically not the easiest one when it comes to an FMCG product or a fashion, or because I come from all these. I have been selling consumer durables. I work with Reliance or with Future Group. So this selling emotion along with an experience of a furniture involves a different kind of an experience that I'm building together using the GenAI tools. While we walk through in the next 1 hour, I'll be able to give you more points on this. I also take care of a logistic part of an AI, which we are building a tool wherein India is a very large country. And especially when it comes to a delivery of a commodity like a furniture, I cannot take an RTO or a RMA. Hence, I need to be very careful of where I'm delivering, how I'm delivering it. And I definitely want to, I'm sure most of you would have heard this, India Post has already started DigiPin. It's a new feature of a 10-digit PIN code which is going to happen, parallelly exists with the 6-digit PIN code. So something on those lines we're building a very similar but at a very small minuscule level. By the virtue of taking care of e-commerce for India and Middle East, I am also starting a cross-border furniture business operations. Again, using trend of AI. I'll give a very simple example. For me, my highest selling product in India might be a 2-door wardrobe. But the same product, if I want to do in UAE, anything less than 4-door or 5-door, people don't want. And they want the glossiest and the most premium, most best looking. But in India, in an e-commerce platform, I can't do the same way. So I need to be very careful of what I'm doing there. So I'm building on a tool which will enable me to deliver this kind of products, being in India and can deliver it over there. The other thing which I'm lastly building is that we just had a session morning about the RCS, the Rich Communication Services. I would not still say it is to an extent useful because I have burned my fingers there. But most of you who are customers of HDFC would be using your WhatsApp services. They give more than 200 of their services just by a click of WhatsApp buttons. And I am building something very similar to that, where is a complete customer journey automated via the WhatsApp. And I think not most retailers are having at this level, which I am going to have it. So these are all the things that I am doing currently with Royal. That's my.
Good afternoon. This is Ravi here. I am here representing Studio J. I'm the executive director in the company. We are basically into experiential design space where we provide a one-stop solution from concept design to execution all the way. So we seamlessly try to integrate the whole process. I don't come from a design background. I'm purely a business perspective. But before I got into this family business of last 15 years, we also have roughly around 150 plus clients we have served with them in a very exclusive basis. Our organization is mostly functioned as a boutique way, but my background is predominantly about a very large Fortune 500 companies. From that background, when I look at our own company, the digital transformation, it's a bit challenging for us because you're a boutique organization running You have a client brief from lead generation to lead conversion, and then get the brief the team and develop the concept designs and present it back, get the approval, material, capex, BOQ. It just goes the whole cycle in its own. How do you really bring the successful digital transformation? So I tried few tools and few things. Some work, some doesn't work. But as you know that the market is completely filled with so many productive tools, which one is the really right fit or wrong fit? It's a bit hard to say unless you try and test it out. But what we have done is, of course, not in all aspects we've been very successful, to be very transparent and honest, but we certainly see there is a huge opportunity as a design company where seamlessly how you can integrate it, because there's a finance, there is a team, there is a different elements. You have external stakeholder, internal stakeholder, you have subcontractors and all those things. I think to some extent what we have been able to achieve that, at least I would say that maybe 60% we still be able to bring in operational efficiencies. Now looking at the creative side, of course I myself certified in a generative AI. I have done the advanced program, but bringing that element into design, when we talk to some of the clients, they have their own apprehension, saying that, okay, you're using AI, and then how do I really charge my fees? We say that it's original concept design. So that balancing is being a little challenge, and the acceptance of a design which is generated by AI is not being very encouraging, very easy to adapt. But where successfully what we have done for one of the brand, we did use that because the time was very short, 20 days or something, roughly 20 days there. In that, concept design was supposed to be developed, done, executed for one of their premium, international jewellery launch. So we did try AI with the client. Of course, their consent was there. They also suggested some of those things. I think we have seen that yes, there is a turnaround time. But I mean, as a creative organization, creative design perspective, you really feel the true connection with the design sense. Maybe yes, maybe no. But as long as it is helping the client to within the timelines, yes, it's been. I think this is a journey. I feel it's a continuous improvement. We need to still do a little bit better job to make it much more seamless in the area where we are operating. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. So from Amazon perspective, just wanted to share what we have been doing in this Amazon retail perspective, right? So we have tried to bucketize it using AI, GenAI and all across three primary, you can say buckets, right? One is customer experience. Right? That's probably the easiest one, which we thought. Again, both AI, ML and GenAI, like you mentioned, two different buckets there. Another one is operational efficiencies, which we talked about, right? So how can we improve our operations both in the fulfillment centers as well as getting goods faster to you, right? And the third one has been running smart stores, right? So from a customer experience standpoint, what we have seen is the easiest one which we started was the review summarization. You all might have, I think we all buy products from Amazon, and those reviews, summarized reviews, definitely come in handy about any product, which we started almost, I think, 2 years ago. The Rufus, I'm sure you all would have used that. It's a GenAI shopping assistant. And Rufus, again, started almost a year ago, and we've got very, very good feedback across the globe from a lot of our customers that Rufus is really acting as a friend who knows all about the product. And a lot of Gen Zs, they like to buy products from word of mouth. They talk to each other. What is trending? What is sustainable, for example, and then they go and buy that product. So Rufus kind of tries to fill that gap for them. And the third thing which we saw is which we have for, I think, partner onboarding. Some of you talked about that challenge as well. So we have launched Amelia. Amelia is a Rufus for sellers, so seller partners like Cocoblu, for example. So Amelia does a lot of heavy lifting on this behind the scenes for any seller who has to come and list on Amazon. There's a lot of stringent standards we have, right? So a lot of fields to be filled in. A lot of that automatically be done by Amelia. So that's another area as well, what we are doing in Amazon. So because Gen Z is something which I think is probably on everyone's mind, so I wanted to pick your brain and feel free to, I think, chime in. From the changing demographic standpoint, how are you seeing the trends emerging in your own specific retail domain, specifically with the Gen Zs and the new, you can say, buying behavior? How that has been changing, and what are you actually doing about that? So if you can share some of those thoughts, maybe that'll be helpful. Anybody can start.
At Cocoblu, what we're seeing is that there's a lot of in apparel specifically, there's a lot of focus on fast fashion. People want to buy latest trends, not at a very high price point, at low price points, and they want to change more often. So faster cycles, lower price points, and latest designs. Yeah.
So how do you do the merchandising becomes a big difficult, right? It's a big challenge now. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah, and what we are trying to see what's coming. I mean, often what we see is that the trends in West, they eventually come to India after 6 months or a year. So we are trying to see what's coming, and then also what other marketplaces are selling. And yeah, that's a challenge. And in fact, I was actually talking to folks in your booth on what are they doing, what sort of solution is there, the multi-agent one that's scraping different websites and all of that. So yeah, that is what we want to build. There are some things that we've already built based on the catalog we have, and we're building on top of this, and then looking at these GenAI solutions, multi-agents, trying to figure this out.
Basically, it'll feed into your catalog, and any event like Coldplay coming, any event which is happening, so that will also be playing into probably that.
It should. At the moment not, but it should eventually, yes. Yeah. But yeah, IPL merchandise is something that we plan for.
Yeah, we are actually seeing a kind of a shift when it comes to Gen Z within the urbans or the metros. And our trends using these AI tools that we spoke about. A small example is that we all do personas of our customers. Who are they? What are their age group? What do they do? So we have this classification of DINK, double income no kids. But we have gone a little step ahead. We call it DIPK, double income pet kids. Okay, and we have realized that there is a set of target where we can get them furnitures which can take care of all the pets. And very soon we are going to have pet friendly furniture for them. That is going to be the new thing which is going to come. It's an innovation actually. Yes, very, very nice.
I just want to add to that. You asked about Gen Z, but I think it's a little broader in my perspective. In the apparel industry, what we have seen is if you launch 100 designs, only 8 or 10 hit. Almost 90 fail. Different levels of failure, but they do fail. I think what we are working on is trying to build an algorithm and a system that can identify the 8 or 10. And that identification can't be prediction, because prediction most of the time is not accurate, it fails. But how can you identify based on real data? And that creating those quick cycles of feedback from customers to track trends based on actual data. And how do you then automatically tweak your assortments to match your customer needs? And you have a supply chain connected to that particular algorithm that can feed that supply chain with the right type of product real time. That is the holy grail. And I think that is something that can take care of any trend, whether it is Gen Z or whatever else. And that's one of the reasons we don't have in-house designers. We crowdsource design because we believe one point of view will change. A Gen Z person will come and not want to buy the ghagra that a Sabyasachi is making. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to last. So if you really want to build a lasting brand for decades, you need to move with the choices of your customers. The child that is born today, 20 years later, is your customer. You don't even know what that child wants. So unless your systems and processes and brands have those pieces in place that can adapt itself to the market, and with all this tech coming in, it makes it even more possible to be more data driven about it. That is what will drive you being ahead of the trend, is what I believe.
Absolutely. One thing which I think we are seeing a trend emerging in that domain is a smaller one is virtual tryouts. So are you also thinking in something in that domain and all?
So I have been in this business for a fairly long time. And I have seen some of the virtual tryout products, these virtual mirrors. Unfortunately, my opinion, if this is not recorded, they are pathetic. And I will tell you why. Look, we did a very interesting experiment in a store. I wanted us to be as customer friendly as possible. And when you go to most of these bridal stores, they don't allow you to click pictures, right? And I told my team, any customer wants to click a picture, please let them click a picture. And there's a lot of fear, somebody will copy my design, whatever else. I said, if somebody can really click a picture and copy a design and scale, then, they might as well buy the ghagra, right? Why would you click a picture? Then you don't have a capacity to scale. But we let them click pictures. Very interesting incident happened. We were working with one of our designers and we got a catalog on WhatsApp saying these are my latest 5-8 designs, and we rejected everything, right? A month later, we visited that person and we were going over a bunch of design options, and we shortlisted 8 designs. And that person said, all of these designs, I sent it to you last month, you rejected it. And we accepted all of that. Immediately, I told all my teams to start tracking data at the stores, that when a bride comes, if she clicks a picture and if she sends it to her mother, what is the rate of conversion? And we figured that 80% of the brides who sent pictures to their moms didn't convert. And we stopped photography in the store. And now 80% convert. What is the message? The message is why the virtual try on, right? A product in apparel needs to look glamorous. If it can't look glamorous, if it can't make you look beautiful, there is no virtual try on. And all the technology that we have for a virtual try on today is pathetic. The ghagra will be dancing on her body to kind of stay there, or the lighting is bad, or the mood is bad, or people walking at the back, and that's not something that can scale. But I do believe with the latest progression that I've seen with GenAI, we will be able to produce that output in the very near future, and that will be a very strong selling proposition.
Absolutely, and thanks for sharing that story. So, what we have seen typically is with slightly low emotional goods like sunglasses, maybe, or even shoes and all. But yes, ghagra is a very highly emotional, because a bride is buying that for a very major event. It will be tough for that. But
I would say ghagra is one of the examples, but I would say apparel in general, it needs to look good on you and it needs to fit well on you. And that is why a lot of the virtual try-ons, whatever technology I have seen, I don't think it is mature enough.
Totally. I think one of our customers, Raymond's, has built an app around that. And I think they are planning to kind of roll it out slowly across a lot of their stores. But yes, it is going to take time to mature, as you rightly said. Any more feedback on
If I may
Gen Z?
add, as I said, there's a separate digital vertical we have built in within the conventional boutique design studio, where we are looking at some of these products selectively. It's kept in our library. When we're doing the design based on the client requirement, we incorporate that at the design stage, so that aesthetically seamless. There's a lot of advantages are there, maybe cost and other thing. While we do this exercise, I also looked at recently a company, I think it's based out of in Gujarat, but they're doing it quite well in Europe and US, where it's a virtual store. You can access it from any part of the globe, go flip through, get a feel of all these, with different merch. Of course, the merchandise is a little limited quantity, not big one. And then you can select that, place an order, and it gets delivered to your place. Now, I also looked at, the Wills brand in Indranagar in Bangalore. They had at a very early stage, they have interacted on the, hand-based gesture and this and that. A lot of this technology didn't work well. It failed quite, thing. So getting a good seamless technology which can be integrated where customer experience becomes a very critical is definitely a challenge. But some of the technology where I have seen, particularly I worked with another company in Boston. We do a lot of visual merchandising as part of it's a campaign drive to generate sales and leads. But most of these campaigns, when you do that, you will only know the effective post campaign. There's no way that you can really pre-assess even before you launch that. But some of these technologies actually helps you to pre-assess that and look at look at that even before your campaign is done. Is it appealing? What age group, gender, male, female, kid, and all those things. But quite expensive. So when it comes to Indian context perspective, the brands where we interact and all that, it just doesn't make very feasible that high cost working extremely well, but not being able to capex wise allocate and fit that. So I think in that context, still homegrown brands are doing some of the technology area, but very limited and constrained, I see.
Sure. Thanks. Any more? Yeah, please.
Hello. Yeah. So my experience in retail is limited because I've been part of this for 6 years only. So it's not that I've seen the older trends or something, but what I have grown in this industry with is the new age trend, which is ideally the Gen Z for the last 6 years. And something that sticks out to me as the today's customer is how informed the customer is. It's not, I don't recall with my conversations with the industry experts earlier claiming that the customer used to be very informed. They never used to come with a specific requirement saying, I want this in this, with this fabric, with this design or this. But today, the customer is almost ready with a specific requirement, even though it might be an impulse buy. The sort of requirement is quite fixed in their mindset. So what we've understood is you can't sell what you want to the customer. You have to try to understand and pitch in and try to convince with whatever you have, meeting the requirement of the customer by making them feel understood. So the need today of the Gen Z is more to understand, more to be understood, from their perspective, and create that connection and give them the customer experience rather than just a transaction of a product sell.
So I think what is rather than looking at only high technology and gimmicky technologies, which a lot of customers get intimidated. Most of the problem in our country is that customers are get intimidated very quickly with a lot of technology. So for example, even when you go to an airport or say a mall, you'll have all the wayfinders, right? You have the digital wayfinders, but still you'll have somebody next to it to help you. Okay, literally. So that's the level of our usage of technology. So what I think as a design company or a experiential design company, what we are also doing majorly with our clients is use simple but yet purposeful technology which can get integrated and enhance the customer experience. I would like to give two examples what we try to do. One of the example is for a ethnic apparel brand, premium brand, which we worked in Indore, is that mostly when you do a selection, when the family comes, even it's a similar brand like Koski, but more with the men ethnic wear. Yeah, Manyavar kinds. Yeah. So the problem is today when a family comes for buying the product and they spend say close to 2.5 hours to buy the product, or the groom generally tries on couple of garments, and one of the family member stands there and clicks the picture, right? And after you would have worn say 4 or 5, then you sit together and say ki kaun sa acha laga mere ko, what. So what we have done is we have implemented a very simple technology where you have a retractable camera, which is there's a podium. So the groom dresses up and comes out. There's a podium. There's a retractable camera and with a remote. Okay, so you click the photo and that gets translated that gets transferred into a larger screen, and all these 4 or 5 garments what he has worn gets next to each other. It's like a comparing all the garments. The family sits there, looks at all it together. Even the groom also sits together, and the conversion rate for that particular client after we implemented this in their store has gone up by about 21%. So in the matter of 1 year. So this is one simple technology, purposeful yet simple. The entire thing costed us close to about 2 lakhs. All put together. There's nothing more what is required. And 2 is another point what we did for an experience center called AS Glass. AS is Asha India, a Japanese company. we designed their experience center. So there also, like for example, when customers are coming to select windows or window systems, especially for your apartments or something. Today in Bangalore or any other major city, the major issue what we are facing is sound levels outside, which gets into the house also, because most of our apartments are street facing, right? I mean, very little buffer zones. Yeah, very close to the main roads. So we simulated, we created an artificial or a simulated balcony with the levels. So there is data available online about what is the general average decibel level of Bangalore. Okay, we created the same decibel level. So after the window is closed, there's a decibel meter outside. And after the window is closed, there's a decibel meter inside. So in real time, it shows how much decibels it is cutting. So these kind of, and again, that entire cost of that 2 decibel meters and whatever we did cost us some 40,000-50,000 rupees. Okay, so what I think as an experience design company, we believe is it's not about how fancy your technology is, rather than how purposeful and simple it can get so that customers can understand it real time.
Absolutely. I think how can we remove the friction in the entire buying process? Like,
yes,
as much as possible.
So that intimidation levels has to come down, because technology, even for me, for example, when you asked me about AI, even though we've started our journey very recently, okay, and we deliberated a lot on whether AI in design is going to be useful or not. But we found one big thing in this last 6 months is that, especially when you want to assimilation of data. For example, we are working with a lot of D2C brands now, okay, and which are catering to the Gen Z customer, okay. But if you want to understand trends, if you want to understand what their behavior is, etc., assimilation of data, and also not just data with respect to basic information. I'm talking about pictorial data about their way of behavior, the customer behavior and things like that. Understanding the persona of the customer, what we talk about. That has become very easy for us. So when we create the mood boards, when we create things for the next process of the next level of design, that is becoming easier for us. So again, we are using AI only as a purposeful tool, not try to kind of use everything to ensure that we become, as humans, we become useless, okay, or we are not contributing anywhere in that. So we are using only parts of it to ensure that how our processes can become faster. Yeah, so basically, so today if you are taking, say, normally we take about 30 to 45 days for a design concept. From the point we get all the data from the customer. Today we are confident that 45 days can be brought down to 30 days by better efficiency. I think in retail, where most of the retailers understand when the cost of the retail properties are skyrocketing today, and it's hitting a big part of your P&L. I mean, India is one of the topmost countries in the world where the retail properties are very expensive. All of us know here, right? So how are we ensuring that efficiency with respect delivering better to the customer is what we are looking at.
Sure. Thanks for that. So moving on, I think ROI was one very important point which you raised. So just wanted to take a round. How are you measuring ROI when it comes to technology investments, right? So specifically, whether it is even GenAI or not GenAI, but how do you measure the ROI? And is that an area where you think more needs to be done? That's a question.
There are traditional methods. Hello. There are traditional methods of getting ROI for any tech investment, right? Which is, if it's ERP, it is something there could be qualitative, quantitative metrics. If it's anything front-end distribution, sales system, it could be something else. Supply chain has most of it on freshness of stock and stock working capital reduction in terms of how much stock you will have at all points, etc. So each tech investment, depending on what process it supports or where it is being used or where it will be used, there is an ROI which traditionally you do calculate. But in the case of Gen AI and AI, at least last 1.5 years or so, few AI projects we have done. We've just used it as a POC try it out, if it fails, it fails. We don't know still type of thing. Although now it is coming, okay, in HR you can use for, the number of resumes come for shortlisting candidates, think one or two are coming saying, okay, so much time is getting saved type of thing. But otherwise, in this space, we have still not got into the ROI kind of a thing. Even Copilot, for example,
still testing waters.
Still testing waters. For example, Copilot we have given to 50% of our employees. I mean, there is no real use case for the amount of money, license money which we are spending. It's more to test out for a year and then say whether it's useful or not.
Absolutely. I think so. Some of the things which we have seen with other customers, right? So they try to, so from a ROI standpoint, you try to do the unit economics, right? They try to, across the entire tech stack, what is my cost per order for this GenAI spend, which I'm doing, right? So, and that's how they've been tracking, and that's how they've been trying to bring it down. So first of all, figure out a benchmark and then trying to bring it down. And the second point which you mentioned about giving Copilot to developers, I think that's an area where we are seeing a lot of our customers are again making investments in retiring the tech debt. So they have been, like, for people who have been around for some time, they've been, let's say, running applications on Java 7, Java 6, whatever, very, very old versions, which are not very secure. So how do we upgrade them without causing any disruption? And upgrading them immediately may not result into any bottom line or any top line for you guys. So how do we do that seamlessly at the back end with very less tech involvement? So that is also one of the, I think, key areas our customers have been kind of trying and running in production. Yeah, sorry.
My takeaway from this ROI, normally most of the technologies when they provide, promised ROI is not available when you deploy it. It is my practical experience. But it is a requirement now. No, you can't run any activity or any business without the technology. For example, in 87 when we started our activity, our cost of operation was 8%. Today, with all the technology coming in, the operation cost has gone to 13.5%. So things have become better, look smarter and easier, but it has not become cheaper. So this is my take.
So I think I want to give a few examples of where I do think that we could see ROI, and it may not be a larger business context, maybe smaller pieces. I think one, definitely in terms of tech development, we do a lot of in-house tech. I can see that my devs are at least 5x more productive. I can say 5, I would have said 10. 5x more productive than what they used to be without AI. Today I don't have to find a...
You've already seen this, like 5x?
Yes, absolutely. I write code myself. I can say that I am 10x more productive. You don't need to know Python, Java, Ruby, whatever the languages. You don't need to Google and search all those solutions. You get the code on your platter. You need somebody who knows how to piece it together. I think what is important is AI will give you stuff. If you don't understand what it is doing and where its strengths are and where its weaknesses are, then you can't leverage it. So you need people who you can train how to use AI. AI itself will not do the job for you. Like if you give too much of data to AI, it hallucinates. But if you give very controlled data, the type of output you can get can be phenomenal. So we have straight away seen 5 to 10x increase in developer productivity. And that helps us a lot with building our internal systems. The other part, which we like it or not, definitely we've had to do away with a few roles in our organization because they were no more relevant. Content writing was one of them. Because content writing is so sophisticated with AI. If you use the right attributes and images and everything else, no human being can write it. And the problem is that if you want somebody to write very, very good content, they need to be extremely experienced to give you that sort of an output. And when somebody is that experienced, they don't want to write content. They want to write novels, right? So you end up hiring interns to write content because nobody else wants to do it, but the quality of the content can never get to where it is. So that has completely changed the dynamics of how we generate content, and how cataloging and a lot of those things will happen. The other piece where I do believe you could very strongly measure your ROI is in terms of how do you manage your inventory cycles at the back end, because a lot of your buying and your decision making on what to buy can be guided by these algorithms, and if you employ the right combination of data, I think one biggest problem I have seen with most Indian retailers who are homegrown, and it's just for the lack of the infrastructure or whatever exposure they've had, they have not captured enough detailed data of what transactions they have made over time to be able to make intelligent decisions. But if you do have that data and if you know how to employ it, you can definitely get very accurate algorithms in terms of how you manage your inventory cycles and other things. So we have definitely seen that with tech partly, and now slowly AI coming into the play of how those algorithms are getting better and how they are directly delivering ROI in terms of shorter inventory cycles and shorter lead times. The other space where this is very early experiments that we are doing, we still are not able to measure the ROI, is customer support. That's another area which is, we find that it's very hard to find people who can talk to a customer with the emotional intelligence that you need to be able to interact with them when they have a problem. And what we have found is, if you are able to effectively replace that layer with AI, you will get the level of emotional intelligence that you didn't have yourself. You could be the founder of the organization, you could be anybody. I have seen some of these conversations live, and it's unbelievable what this technology is able to do. I think setting them up right to be able to work right is important. We've been working on problems where we don't treat retention as a message sent. Retention now is a conversation where you could also have a negotiation and it will be driven by AI. So a lot of different use cases, and if you do it in controlled enough ways and seek that ROI, I think we are definitely able to see a lot of that unfolding for us.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing those data points. I think cataloging kind of, we have done it ourselves in Amazon, as well as customers like Nykaa, for example, Zomato, Swiggy, they do it. Nykaa is a classic one, the same one on content writing, right? So they had 50,000 SKUs, and it is a ever growing catalog, and they wanted, and the better the content, the more the conversion, right? So like sun-dried tomatoes is something which we all like to buy, that pizza, for example, if it has sun-dried tomatoes. So Nykaa again used a lot of our AWS technologies to do the catalog enrichment, what we call it, and using the images, the LLMs, the models, the GenAI models were able to give far better content, and they appended, and they saw immediately almost 17 to 25% for those categories where they had changed the GenAI based, let's say, catalog description, increase in sales. So this is one. Then inventory one is something which we have seen again with Swiggy, Zomato, because dark store inventory is very, very crucial. What sells in Udaipur may not sell in Mulund and other places. So at a hyperlocal level, how do you get the intelligence? And that's where the data kind of comes in very, very handy. So in fact, it also happens that in case for companies like these, if a dark store is not serviceable because of the delivery agents there, it'll probably go out of network, and you'll not come to know for 2 or 3 days that this dark store is not selling anything. So this used to happen traditionally, but with GenAI and all these tools, they are able to get faster alerts that, okay, this store has not sold anything in the last maybe 2 hours, which is which is an anomaly, because it should have been selling, it's a dinner time, or it should have been selling something. So they are trying to use data in this manner to make it much more faster selling from that particular dark store. Yeah, and customer support is a classic one. Sorry, I think please.
To add into it, see, when you mention of this e-commerce brands, because by the sheer volumes that they're able to achieve it, and they can invest heavily on the tech. But when it comes to D2C brands like mine, okay, investing on tech and in terms of ROI perspective, I will tell you my own scenario. Any tech investment capex, I take it to my boss. The first thing he asks me is, "You're asking me to pay this much for something unseen?"
इसमें लड्डू कहाँ है, right? That's a classic one.
And better part is that इसके बाद how will you make everyone in the company use this? So that's a big hurdle which most D2C brands are struggling there.
No, but I think you could ask the same question for marketing, right? You spend 5 crores on a Google campaign. Push! क्या आया? पता नहीं. You'll get a lot of data to say आपका वो बढ़ गया, ये बढ़ गया. दुकान में कोई इंसान आना बढ़ा नहीं, धंधा बढ़ा नहीं, तो क्या हो गया? So I think
just to add, I think ROI perspective, one project which I have done in digital transformation, it's like the process has been followed from last 20 plus years, and the lead time anywhere 6 months to 1.5 months. So you actually, look at the whole cycle of that and bring in the relevant technology. And I was able to do that 2.5, 3 days lead time. Anywhere in the world item is picked up, because on third day it's there on your desk. So it's also important that what technology at what level you intervene and what is the right output you can get out of that. Now, can I leverage same technology in the creative, in the design field, where the human intervention is very high, a lot of creative ability needs to be thing? May not be. But then as a business, when you break certain elements and then intervene the right technology, right place, you will definitely see significant ROI.
I just want to add one more perspective when it comes to technology. Look, I've built software systems for a really long time for really large organizations across the world, across US, Canada, UK, Singapore, Europe. One of the classic challenges that I've been seeing is that a lot of systems that were built in the past stored your data and gave you gyan, knowledge, कि आपका inventory यहाँ फटा हुआ है, यहाँ पे नहीं चल रहा है, यहाँ पे ये कैटेगरी चल रहा है, यहाँ पे ये डिज़ाइन चल रहा है, यहाँ पे ये थ्रूपुट सही नहीं है. All brilliant ideas. I think I want to know, boss, ये सब ठीक है, लेकिन करूँ क्या? You don't need software that can give you gyan. You need software that can make the decisions and action it, and that is what matters, right? I've always encouraged people to build softwares that can make decisions and don't have too many human interventions. I believe the human layer is low. Whether we like it or not, however intelligent you are slower than what a software can do. You need to have the intervention to look at if things are going right, but you can't do it yourself. Let the software do it. So in our organization today, if an order is placed, there's no human intervention in deciding कि ये quantity सही है नहीं है या जा रहा है नहीं जा रहा है. It's all automated. One piece gets sold in the store. There's a live order that goes to the manufacturer in whatever quantity it's required. It's completely integrated, right? Those decisions are important, and you can't let human beings be on the way of making those decisions. And what I do see is with GenAI and everything else that's coming into place, that action orientedness will go to the next level of how you can further that agenda of creating action oriented software that self heals the system and doesn't wait for you to intervene. All you need to find is those patterns and anomalies that will happen, and make sure that you build a system and a software and guide it to solve those problems. And with GenAI, a lot of those becomes self-interpreting. It understands itself and gives you better solutions than you can think about. And I've seen that real time in the last few months.
No, absolutely. Agentic AI is, we've been calling it Agentic AI, and we've seen the same thing in many customer POCs, right? At least at that level. So classic one, in fact, Swiggy also came and talked about in one of the conclaves is they have 700 plus microservices, a lot of, again, very advanced. And if there's any outage anywhere, they have to go around the room just like that is your service working fine? Because there's so many alerts. It's very difficult for them to figure out and zero down where the issue is. Now, in their scenario, they used the GenAI agents to find out the anomalies and quickly create a summary that these three services in the past 10 minutes have been acting in kind of anomalous manner. So you may want to start triaging here. So that became a triage assist. Now, still a human is in the loop, but they want next step is to that bot to carry out the corrective action itself, so that the human doesn't come into play. The pricing assist solution, which you might have seen at our our booth, right? That also uses a lot of bots, and it can work in a complete autonomous fashion. Again, I'm giving a quick commerce example where people benchmark. So if you're looking at potato and Zepto, Swiggy, Zomato, Big Basket, that is a benchmark. So if potato is cheaper in Swiggy, then probably you start ordering in Swiggy. Rest everything would be cheaper as well. So these bots, they do the scraping, and then accordingly they can dynamically adjust the price of these kind of fast moving goods. So some of these examples which we are seeing. So I think we're coming at the end of the hour, so I just probably will request each one of you to share your closing thoughts in terms of where the future is looking like, right? And where do you need help from tech providers like AWS? And maybe starting with you again. Yeah.
For us, we are a very traditional business. We have been a business for about 3 decades now, and there's a lot of changes that will be coming in the following few years. Ways we can understand how our customer is thinking, what the customer needs, what is it, how do we connect with them even more. Those are areas which we need to explore yet. For a long time, all of this was running in the MD's head. He would understand with the customer connection, the kind of contacts he has built, and with the kind of people he's meeting, he would understand what is the next trend, what would we need, what we need to improve upon. But now, with the pace at which we are changing, the trends change no more from month to month, it's almost day to day. We have, with the way the quick commerce is working, with the way how trends are changing every day as such, we need to be able to understand how do we predict it. Sometimes we need to understand what are these minute design changes which actually occur in the market, actually help us sell our products better. So having something that can assist us from the point of getting the product to our shelf and again putting it across the market is something which we would benefit from. So yeah.
I think me being very predominantly working in the operations space, we do have currently a lot of tools that help in improving the operational excellence when it comes to AI, be it cataloging, be it the customer interactions through the chatbots, be it the multilingual understanding of these chatbots, which is a very important factor when we operate in tier 2s and tier 3s. And our offline retail in the organization predominantly has stores in tier 2s and tier 3s. So we have a network of 100 plus stores where 80% of it is in tier 2, tier 3, where the language understanding becomes really important. So if we were to talk about these Gen AI aspects, these are very helpful in the operational excellence part. But when it comes to the overall training, the overall building the AI thinking in an organization, I think it's time that everybody starts incorporating that into every organization. Whether you use it today or not, you will be using it at some point in some aspect of the steps that you have in your end-to-end journey of the experience that you provide to a customer. Somewhere it will be utilized in terms of operations or your accounts or reconciliation. Somewhere it is going to be utilized. So I feel that it is high time people start prompt engineering and AI thinking as a part of their employee training. Because if that is inculcated, you are saving a lot of time, you're market ready with your workforce, and also that you're not exploding your operational costs at the current moment when it's still new. So that's my thought.
And you're actually standardizing across the organization, right? So
across, yeah.
Which is amazing idea. Yeah, thanks.
As a service provider, we work with a lot of retail chains. So technology is like the engine that keeps our ship running. So we will continue to invest in technology which makes this engine more efficient, run it more faster without kind of disrupting the engine itself or without disrupting the ship. I think one of the key areas where we will continue to focus on, and we will need all the help from AWS there, is any voice and digital related use cases that you are building up in terms of AI. Whatever use cases you have done across the globe, we'll be more than happy to explore and partner on that.
Sure. And that is again one area where we are again investing big time. You might have heard about Nova Sonic models which have come recently. Yeah. And there again, I think you were also alluding to these voice-based bots across the board, right? And they're very, very intuitive. We used to call it the Turing test, right? If you're talking to a bot and you can't figure out whether it is a bot or not. And so these are very, they take turns. So if you interrupt, and I've seen some of the demos myself of Nova Sonic, where you can actually interrupt the call center agent, it kind of patiently waits for you to finish and then starts answering with that context in mind. Okay. So so we'll be happy to share that.
Sure. We've used Poly earlier.
Nova Sonic. Yeah.
We've used Poly earlier, speech to text, but I think there still needs to be a lot of enhancement on that front.
I'll just share something that I recently came across. We were evaluating whether we should take agents to production or not. And I came across a framework, and I think if maybe AWS also has a framework to help us decide whether an agent should go live. And so the framework was something around each agent should be harmless. Harmless from a compliance standpoint, GDPR, DPDP, all of those. And it should be very cost conscious. You should not, with Bedrock, it's very easy to just run a bill of $100 just in one day. No, it's just so happens, right? So it should be harmless. The second is that it should be very honest. You should manage the parameters very carefully. It should not hallucinate. So that's the second one. And lastly, it should be helpful. And that takes us back to the discussion we had on what's the ROI. Is it improving the productivity, and how do you measure the productivity gain? So I think it's on these.
This is like Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics, right? So pretty much like that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but that's how I would now evaluate it.
See, for an online retailer, the cost parameters are very different. A Nykaa or a Swiggy or a Zomato. To a physical retailer like us, where a bulk of the cost is on rent. High street, mall rents, etc. Right? If you leave out that, the next is the human resources cost, and then there are other costs. Correct? Now, if Gen AI, agentic, etc., were to show us value, then rents you can't do too much, right? It depends on market and how the economy moves. But in these areas, human resources, so therefore whether it's customer support, whether it is operational excellence, etc., then we will have to push many of these through. Now, companies like yours, in addition to just tech, you'll also have to bring in the consulting expertise, as well as showing us other use cases, other customers who have done it, etc., etc. So then the adoption game becomes much faster and much smoother. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. Thanks.
No, nothing much. So for us, see, we here every day we have so many vendors pitching to us on tools and all. And as he rightly said, and I come from a purely omni where 90% of the business is still stores and 10% is online. The cost structures are hugely different. To be honest, a lot of tech, while is only a glitter, it does not really translate into a tangible value down the line. And you can use a lot of legacy tech, if it used right, can actually give you much better cost and value. So it becomes while I take care of the technology of the organization, but I am also responsible for the P&L of the online. So one of the dilemmas which is always there is that how much you experiment versus how much you have to maintain a bottom line. And we have done a lot of experience, but we have been very careful in terms of we don't really want to be there first. We will see somebody doing it, and copying is much easier because you don't make the same mistakes. And we have been so we attend all these forums like yourself. Please be innovators. We'll learn from you and we'll do it better than you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that is something which you have seen very, very common in a cost-conscious market in India, right? First of all, am I the guinea pig? That's the first question. Am I the first one trying this? So, yeah.
So this proof of, just to add to what he said, this spending for proof of concept or pilot is a very not acceptable, thing. So, because that money is seen as going down the drain, right? And therefore, we'll have to build some kitty or something to ensure that such things happen. Because without that, you don't realize the dream. Also, right? Without that, you can't prove anything. You don't realize the dream. So it's a more double-edged.
No, absolutely. See, I think one this thing with AWS as a AWS hat, I can very well say that that's an area where we try to enable a lot of our customers to. These are what we call two-way door decisions that you experiment faster, right? So you experiment fast, do a very quick POC, maybe just half a day, and which will not incur a lot of costs, right? And then see whether it is working out for you or not. And the whole idea of even running the traffic, if you're running an e-commerce website, for example, running the canary traffic 0%, 5%, 10%, and figuring out that this promotional offer you ran, whether it is making it is working or not, right? So probably our teams will dive deep and try to see how we can accelerate that. Yeah. Sorry, I think we couldn't get.
I came in late. My name is Vinod Haigreve. I run a jewellery company, Krishna Chetty. So I've been very interestingly listening to all of you. For us, we use technology on the design front. We use technology on diamond color grading, those areas. They are with machines with artificial intelligence now embedded. So those help us a lot because we use less human, thought process or human talent. However, our requirement is, you say a lot of people come to your place and pitch ideas. I think we would love more and more technology pitching to us. We don't know how many places we could use it. The whole thing aspect with that we find important, not a challenge, but important and time taking and a little cost, is to integrate it with our processes, internal and backward forward, so that it is sustainable. Quite often we might bring in some technology and sometimes it does not get used much. Sometimes it is not integrated into the system, so it is very sporadic. These things are pitfalls that we try to avoid, and hopefully that kind of a vision makes us think, how can we integrate it so that it becomes more permanent? But at the same time, there is also a continuous change happening, a churn happening. So being agile and yet innovative is a challenge that we have to grapple with.
Thank you for sharing. I think your organization again has been making the dreams of a lot of brides come true, right? I think along with
more brides coming in and going out, there's more business.
For us, what we believe in investing in technology is what can deliver as a design services company is quality of design or efficiency to make things much better and faster, and finally the seamless journey what we can deliver to our customers. So I think our investments will be very focused to that. We did a lot of study for last post-COVID for almost 2.5 years before we could actually jump into integrating all this into our work. So I think that's what we would look at.
Yeah. In terms of furniture business, the biggest challenge in the future is personalizing the things, personalization at the scale. Since the AI understands the customer better and predicts the Gen Z, so we are looking at technologies where we can recommend right coffee table, right furniture for a studio apartment, or an AR solution where any chair is moved, that has to be with a visualization things. So this we are looking for the future where AI can help us understand the customer better, as well as give the right choice for the customer, and what Gen Z is going to search for the next season, and understand better and give them the right choice. I think all the game of selling is understanding the customer better and serving the right product.
So, like we were talking about virtual tryouts, instead of this, how it will look in my room, right? This kind of furniture.
Exactly.
Got
so,
it. Okay.
then the customer will be able to choose the right furniture for their perfect room, rather than taking the furniture and placing it and realizing, no, this is not the stuff what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's what we are aiming for the future. I believe AWS and can be a part of it. Thank you so much.
I think we all retailers are working for the customers, and we are living because of them. So what the customer wants today is he wants a better product. It should be easy to buy or easy to use, and it should be faster. It should work faster, or I should get it faster. And at the end of the day, it should be cheaper also. All these 4 components, we as the retailers should see to do or to achieve this, what is available in the market, and is it required for me? Is it affordable to me? Whether it will give the required ROI. Choose that and get it. At the end of the day, customer wants all these things. Faster, cheaper, better and easier. So we need to deliver. Now coming to our Indian style of pricing. Even today we are with cost-based pricing, I think. We all move to, like you, value-based pricing. So that has not started in India. We all retailers should start value-based pricing. We should not see the cost. Cost is 100 rupees, I'll sell at 12 rupees. No. What is the value delivery? If a cost of 10 rupees product is giving 100 rupees delivery, let us sell at 120 rupees. Okay, that we should learn from you. Thank you.
So if you ask me to talk about what future would look like with software, I think it's unimaginable at this point in time. You can only imagine. I do very strongly believe that every single person in this room should definitely think about technology to be not ancillary but a core at whatever levels. I'll give you a very simple example. I have one person working with us. He's been with us for the last 25 years. He never went to school. But today he writes Excel sheets and he does a bunch of things. Never knew how to write good English. And in the last 2 months, he's our finance agent. He writes the most sophisticated emails to all the vendors. He understands it very well, but he doesn't know how to articulate. It has just empowered him 10x more than what he used to be. And that happens at the grassroots level, right? That's the power of what technology is able to do today with what is available there. But beyond that, when I think about what the future looks like, another interesting data point is I met with about 25 manufacturers that we worked with in the last 3 months. And I showed them a whole bunch of tech and dashboards that we have within Koski, so they could understand when their product comes into the system, what life cycle it goes through. And one interesting insight is that none of these manufacturers want to manufacture an old design. Something that is 3 months old, they shut it down. And why do they shut it down? Because sab log naya pooch raha hai. Sab log naya pooch raha hai. How many of you go to buy and say naya dikhao? All of us want naya. But what they don't realize is that one product that you shut down could have sold for the next 5 years at the same velocity that you're selling today. And we have examples of this in our own system today, that we have products that have been selling for 2.5, 3 years that still sell at the same velocity that it sold on day one. Our problem is we don't have technology to find that product and make sure that you scale it. And what will happen over time? Out of the millions and thousands of businesses that are there will emerge 10, 15, 20, 100 businesses that will adopt this. And when they adopt this is when you will see how the business will shift from one player to another. And in the longer run, I see a lot of consolidation happening of all of these tech adopted business, which will scale significantly. And a lot of the unorganized players will end up becoming partners of the tech adopted business. And that is how the ecosystem will work. And I've already seen that. If you look at the Western wear market today in India, how many mom pop shops do you see selling Western wear? Negligible, very few. On Commercial Street 10 years ago, you would find so many. You've been there forever, sir. So you've seen so many Western wear women's category mom pop stores on Commercial Street. Today there are none. Why? There is Zara, there is Veromoda, there is all of these organized players that have come in. They've all consolidated into them, and a lot of these people are franchisees of the same business. And that is what the longer term looks like. So I think technology will drive scale. So if you really want to be a fairly large scalable business that can optimize the hell out of supply chain and add to your bottom line, that is where the business will move towards. And in the longer run, a lot of the unorganized players will continue their business as a part of the larger conglomerate. And whoever has adopted technology will be able to scale quicker. Just one aspect of technology. I'm sure there are a lot of other social and political aspects that will come into play. But from a business perspective, this is how I see it.
This is a classic, this product life cycle, product lifetime value, right? This which you talked about. I think that's a classic problem for everyone. Where can I get that next Nike Air, which will sell for 20, 25, 30 plus years? So, yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 points to tell. Number one would be, see, when it comes to a digital footprint, as in Amazon or any platform or anything, I have all the information of my consumer. But when it comes from an offline space, there is one area where tech is not able to deliver some action point on it, which Google has successfully able to do. I just park my vehicle in front of a beauty parlor, my wife goes, within 10 minutes, how was this place? I get a review feedback on Google. Well, the same way where my customer is spending 3 hours, 4 hours, sometimes a full day buying his furniture needs, I am still not able to identify unless I openly ask him his name, his KYC. So if a technology solution can give me a solution to this, we are in for it. So when my boss asked me this, but in a digital your privacy is not there.
But physically,
I mean, God knows in my device, when did I log out of Amazon? It's always live. Amazon knows everything that I speak, I eat, I drink, everything. They know. Yeah.
It's more like a shadow. But people are always scared about, shadows you don't get worried, but you're always scared about somebody is asking you or want your details upfront. Unconsciously, a lot of details are available.
So, using a technology, if something can be come out of this, where a person spends time inside the store for a couple of minutes, some way his identification can be pulled out.
So a lot of advertising tech companies are trying to solve this problem which you talked about, right? So based on your hyperlocal position, so if you're here and we know that you like Starbucks, for example, can I then bid for you and pass you a, let's say, promo code for Starbucks? So a lot of edtech companies, and we have helped a lot of our edtech customers for that. Probably, I think the team will
Maybe we
spend
can
time.
later on
Yeah,
that
yeah, absolutely.
And the second tech-based solution, which I would definitely ask, is what sir was asking for Harsha. Okay, I want something so zyada mileage de sakta hai, and which can run for a longer duration.
Faster, better, cheaper.
Yeah, I know we are in digital era. We can't just shy away and stay away. But having said that, what I would look at is in any technology, does it provide me a seamless integration in my business, which is often a challenge. So what we have done is we looked at clustered into 6 or 8 categories. There are some categories technology can be straight away plug in and done all, but there are some categories where technology is still not matured. Just try and test it, mature it, but still, make sure that you seamlessly integrate as the time goes along, because we are in a design business and not everything can be seamlessly integrated.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, that is interesting. Just one last point.
Please.
So when we use AI, what we do is we use AI to use AI. And that is the way to do it. You don't write a prompt. You asked AI to write a prompt so that it can give it to some other AI and get them to talk to each other. You don't go in between.
Yeah, that's called reflection. What you're saying, yeah, absolutely. That happens. Yeah. So I thank all of you. I think thank you so much for coming and sharing your stories here. You all are doing amazing work. I think retail is a big sector for India. I think 10% of jobs have been created because of retail in India, and so all you are a major part of it. It's very inspiring to be part of all of you and then discussing your stories. So thank you so much for coming here, and we hope to make a meaningful contribution in your stories and your future growth as well. Thank you.